All right, so there is a new terrorism advisory that has come out from the Department of Homeland Security, and I will tell you, it is, to me, bone-chilling. But hey, I don't want to be part of a misinformation or disinformation campaign. I think the government has our best interest. Ronald Reagan was wrong when he said, government isn't the solution, government is the problem. That was very dangerous rhetoric, anti-government rhetoric, quite honestly. When George Washington said, when the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, not so much, not so much. He said something like that. Anyway, here is the original Department of Homeland Security bulletin that we were all shocked and horrified by. January 27th, 2021, a year ago. It stated, and I quote, "The acting Secretary of Homeland Security has issued a National Terrorism Advisory System bulletin due to a heightened threat environment across the United States, which DHS believes will persist in the weeks following the successful presidential inauguration. Information suggests that some ideologically motivated violent extremist with objections to the exercise of governmental authority and the presidential transition, as well as other perceived grievances fueled by false narratives, could continue to mobilize or incite or commit violence." Okay. All right. I remember going, wait a minute. They think that anybody who believes that the election was not exactly on the up and up is going to commit violence? Okay. I guess we're all terrorists. Nah. No, that is so old-timey of you to think. Here's the new one that, remember, is just a renewal of the one I just read to you. Yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security renewed the terrorist threat, and it says, "The United States remains in a heightened threat environment, fueled by several factors, including an online environment filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy theories and other forms of mis, dis, and malinformation." By the way, there's a hyperlink that takes you to another page where the Department of Homeland Security is going to help you fight disinformation. They've got a site where you can say, this is, no, that's a conspiracy. It's great. Let's see. It is introduced and or amplified by foreign and domestic threat actors. These threat actors seek to exacerbate societal friction, to sow discord and undermine public trust in government institutions, to encourage unrest, which could potentially inspire acts of violence. Now, that is weird because I would agree if we were talking about, Antifa, if we were talking about people who were burning the streets down. But we're not really talking about those people. In fact, we're not really even talking about the people who might be encouraged to go for violence. No, what we're really talking about are the actors that are using mis, dis, and malinformation online that seek to exacerbate societal friction, to sow discord, and undermine public trust in government institutions. Wow, that sounds like the Democratic Party. Who's been undermining this institution and all institutions of our government besides the people who are running it? Mass casualty attacks and other acts of targeted violence conducted by lone offenders and small groups acting in furtherance of ideological beliefs and personal grievances pose an ongoing threat to the nation. While the conditions underlying the heightened threat landscape have not significantly changed over the last year, the convergence of following factors has increased the volatility, unpredictability, and complexity of the threat environment. 1. The proliferation of false or misleading narratives which sow discord or undermine public trust in U.S. government institutions. 2. Continued calls for violence directed at U.S. critical infrastructure, soft targets, mass gatherings, faith-based institutions such as churches, synagogues, and mosques, institutions of higher education, radical and religious minorities, government facilities and personnel, including law enforcement and the military and the media, and perceived ideological opponents, and calls by terrorist organizations, foreign terrorist organizations, for attacks in the United States based on recent events. Okay. All right. Okay. Now listen, they have some additional details here that they would like. The primary terrorism-related threat to the United States continues to stem from lone offenders or small cells of individuals who are motivated by a range of foreign and or domestic grievances, often cultivated through the consumption of certain online content. There's no hyperlink to that. I don't know what that certain content is, but it is contributing to the heightened threat of violence in the United States. Key factors. Number 1, the proliferation of false or misleading narratives which sow discord or undermine public trust in U.S. government institutions. For example, there is widespread online proliferation of false or misleading narratives regarding unsubstantiated, widespread election fraud and COVID-19. Grievances associated with these themes inspire violent extremist attacks. Okay, all right. Okay, Joe Rogan, I hope you're listening. Ben Shapiro, I hope you read that. I know The Blaze did. I'd like to know, are we one of those websites? Because it goes on to say that they are working with public-private partnerships that can analyze the online content and social media to be able to identify these actors that are spreading false narratives. Well, I know that our mainstream media and also the social media giants have already made The Blaze a target of misinformation. You read some of our stuff, all of which we have won. When we go to fight it, we win every single time. But that hasn't stopped them from claiming that we are purveyors of mis or disinformation. Now, I want to show you that in, a month ago? The New York Times, along with other think tanks, said it's time to take down these podcasts because these podcasts are out of control. Remember, Brian Stelter just said the other day, these are people that just don't want to listen to newsrooms. I'll listen to newsrooms if you have both sides. So the New York Times and other left-wing groups said that they were going to start targeting podcasts. Hello, Joe Rogan. Hello, Ben Shapiro. Hello, me. Anybody. Mark Levin. They're going to target. That was the announcement last month. And the New York Times said that we were partly responsible, encouraging people for violence on January 6th. Couldn't be further from the truth. We even told them and gave them the tape. They wouldn't retract it because they're the science. Facts don't matter. Okay. This was just published yesterday by Esquire. Who knew it was still around? It's worth paying closest attention now to the events in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. The city and its residents continue to be besieged by an unruly conglomeration of truckers. The situation is so critical and so unmanageable that Jim Watson, the mayor of Ottawa, declared a state of emergency. The reason why we should pay closest attention now is because the usual flock of buzzards already seems to be circling in anticipation down here. Since late January, the likes of Glen Beck and Mike Huckabee, damn, they're on to us. The likes of Glen Beck and Mike Huckabee have used their large online followings to spread the word about the truckers' convoy, garnering tens of thousands of engagements, including likes and shares and comments on social media posts in favor of the protest, based on data from CrowdTangle, a social media analytics firm owned by Meta, Facebook's parent company. Oh my gosh. So something that I got a lot of heat for because I wasn't constantly talking about the truckers. People online are like, why aren't you talking about the truckers all the time? Because I don't know that much about it. I had the guy on. He seemed like a good guy. I liked what he was saying. This should be peaceful. I don't necessarily like their blocking, commerce, but they're Canadians. They can do what they want to do. I always believe that civil unrest should be just that. It should be civil. It should be kind. It should be Martin Luther King kind of protest. And I'm a little torn on this one, on how they're doing it, but I haven't seen anything that they're violent. In fact, the violence that was reported, the person that came in and rammed their car, guess who that was? An Antifa member. The one who was actually doing violence up there was Antifa. I guess we don't care about Antifa. But I'm the reason why I've been promoting this? That sounds like mis, dis, or malinformation. Just a warning shot. I'm telling you now, burn important information to disk. If you find these shows as something that you think, I might want to go back and listen, burn it to disk. They are like a drowning man, and they are pushing anyone underwater. And I'll explain that in 60 seconds. Another thing that broke yesterday, the Capitol Police, boy, they seem a little out of control, and they certainly didn't break into Congressman's office or offices. No. The doors were open, and so they went in to take pictures of things. This is the Stasi, and the Inspector General is now on the Capitol Police. We are talking to the congressman here in a minute that they went in and just took pictures of all of his wargaming for what he was working on in his office. Just took pictures. By the way, they work for Nancy Pelosi. We'll give you that information here in just a second. The reason why I say they are drowning, you look at the ratings online, if you will. You look to the ratings of this program online, on radio, on Pluto, on Roku, all of the different ways that we are distributed now. The footprint is enormous. Joe Rogan's footprint just on Spotify is 11 million. When you look at Tucker Carlson, remember how much they hate Tucker Carlson? He has 3 million. 3 million a night. Anderson Cooper has 500,000. Okay? It's over for the mainstream media, and they know it. They know it. It's over. The left knows, oh, crap, what happened to Woodrow Wilson is going to happen to us. It's over. We overplayed our hand. They are going to become vicious. Stay cool, stay calm, stay peaceful, but stay awake and remain standing.